All right, hello there. We are on lesson 18 for collisions, and we're going to be looking at sprite interactions today. We're starting at the end of the lesson so that I can give you kind of an idea of what everything is. Displace makes one sprite push another sprite once they're touching, pushes it out of the way. Collide makes sure that, like in the alien here, collide, they'll bump into each other, and then the one that was moving will just stop. It will not be able to pass through or behind or make it move. Bounce. Okay, as you can see here, the giraffe so what happens is it makes the sprite and the target bounce when they touch each other. Both the sprite and the target change how they're moving. When stopped here, these two will bounce off of each other. And in the instance of the snake and the monkey stops and the snake continues on. The code for that, what that looks like is right here. Light green, giraffe bounce, hippo, elephant bounce, pig, snake bounce, monkey, and then bounce off makes the sprite bounce off the target when they touch each other. The target keeps moving as before. All right, so that is bounce off, bounce, collide, and displace. Let's go to the beginning of the lesson. Our new code here, as I said, bounce, bounce off, collide, displace. We're going to set the collider and sprite bounciness. So this is a new way to interact, and you're going to be really enhancing your game now, literally and figuratively. But pay attention, work along, look back to this video as you need. But if you do this each time, you will get the hang of this pretty quickly. All right, so do this, run the program and observe the interaction between the two sprites, discuss with a neighbor or a friend or call someone, talk to a parent, a brother or sister, and observe the interaction. Discuss with a neighbor using only the commands you already know. How would this happen? So talk to a neighbor, pause this if you need. Go on. So now, you should have discussed with your classmate or a partner or whatever. The giraffe is already moving across the screen toward the monkey, but the sprite interaction itself hasn't been programmed. Mine has, I programmed mine. So use the plan you developed with your partner or in your head, however you did that, to make this interaction down here, okay? I'm not gonna show you what I have, but down here and there, make the interaction. So, we have now the elephant should push the hippo off the screen. Notice that the elephant moves at a random y, okay? Velocity each time you run the program. A little bit faster this time. Now it's super slow. Using the patterns from the last level, write code that makes the elephant push the hippo off the screen. Okay, remember what you did on part 3. Now use a Y pattern. All right, do this. Someone tried to use the giraffe displace block. to make the elephant push the hippo, but there's a bug. Can you change the code? Okay, mine runs differently than yours. Need to change that. Find the line of code where sprite.displaceBlocks is used and fix the error. Remember, I am not trying to give you the answers. I'm trying not to give you the answers. Switch out the displace block for try the sprite.collide, sprite.bounce, sprite.bounce off, down in here. Okay, I have bounce off going right now. Try them all. And if you want to make it easier, go to text mode and just change the bounce off to collide, to bounce. Okay, that works quicker. Just make sure you have it exactly as it's written. Bounce, and then capital OFF. Next step here, choose the best block to model the basketball bouncing off the floor. And try them all, because it actually ends up being pretty funny if you try the different displace, collide, bounce. I got a pretty good laugh out of trying them all, and it was pretty great. But don't be afraid to do that. Next, run the code and try and make the turtle collide with the tree. Look through the code and discuss with someone what the problem is. So mine stops at the tree. Yours goes behind the tree. You need to figure out how to make that happen. To make it like mine, where I'm pressing down right now, but it's stopping at the tree. Give it a look. Just know that it's either collide, bounce off. I know we're moving kind of quick, but I think you can do this. Use the sprite debug block. Notice how that's right here. Gold debug is true. Silver debug is true. So right now they are square and they're being all funky. Change the gold starting X position to 51 and run it again. Okay, right now it's at 49. Change it to 51, then run it. Why is it bouncing so strangely? Why are both of them bouncing so strangely? On this next one, you're going to figure out how to make them not bounce so strangely. Find the sprite set collider, block for the gold coin, and change it from rectangle to circle. So see how this gold coin set collider circle, probably do that with the silver one. Look what it does. And it will make everything not bounce so weird. Can have a good solid program. Read the code below and press run to see the behavior of the basketball and the pool ball. I changed mine, so just know that. That's why the bounciness changes. It's awesome. The more they bounce, the less they bounce. What does that mean? Okay, on this one, add an obstacle. Okay, so I didn't use a sun. I used a target. Yours isn't going to bounce yet, but the key is you're going to add an obstacle. Okay, call it obstacle. Doesn't matter. It's in here. I called it target. Okay. Use the sprite set animation block to give your sprite the image you choose. So right here, obstacle.setAnimationTarget, target, set collider at circle, so that way it isn't a square. Do this. Do them all. This one, add code to your game that prevents your player from moving through the obstacle. If you use one of the bounce interaction, decide whether you want to set the bounciness of your character. Discuss with the neighbor which interaction did you decide to use? Is there more than one sprite interaction that works the way you expect? Next, add code to your game that prevents the coin from moving behind the obstacle. I could run mine 100 times and the coin will never be in behind the obstacle. It'll touch it, but how do you do that? You want to check. Almost to the end now. Use your sprite set collider block to change the colliders of your sprite circles. So mine is a circle. Set the sprite debug properties true and play your game to make sure it's working the way you want to. Okay, mine is. So I can bounce on this, I get a coin. I have a score here. Okay, finally, the assessment part of it. Create invisible sprites at the edge of your game to keep your character from bouncing out. Okay, you can make invisible sprites. Add another obstacle to your game, create another idea of your own. Make this your own game. All right, it's can be fun. I didn't want to add too much to give you ideas. At some point, I need to set those walls. So make this your own game. Enjoy this. You could have a pretty cool game here. I know it will be a little bit similar to everybody's, but getting these strategies and understanding how to make these blocks work is imperative to strengthening your game making ability and really making your game original on the next phase. So take care and remember that the displace, move something, collide stops the one that ran into it, bounce, something will bounce, or both of them will bounce and then bounce off, makes the sprite bounce off the target when they touch each other, but the target keeps moving as before. All right, happy gaming and enjoy Lesson 18 Collision.